Following Thomas's accident, Bertie the bus was very relieved to hear that his friend was all right. It was the day that Thomas was scheduled to come home from the steamwork, and Bertie rushed to the station to meet him. "I'm so glad that Thomas is okay," said Bertie. "But I really do want to talk to him. I want to know everything that happened." Bertie waited and waited, but Thomas didn't come. Bertie began to grow worried. "Oh dear," he said. "What if Thomas's condition is worse than they thought? Or what if something else has happened to him?" About 25 minutes passed after the time that Thomas was scheduled to arrive. Just then an engine rounded the corner. But it wasn't Thomas, it was Billy, pulling Annie and Clarabelle. "Billy," said Bertie, "what are you doing here? Where's Thomas? Is he all right?" "Oh, Thomas is fine," said Billy. "He's in the yard. It's just his driver couldn't come to work or something today. I was called up in a hurry, and I had to run and fetch Annie and Clarabelle, then go get Thomas's passengers from Tidmouth as fast as I could. I didn't really have the time to get all the details, but I think someone said something about Shingles or something like that." As quickly as they could, Thomas's passengers got out of Annie and Clarabelle and hurried over and boarded Bertie. As soon as everyone was ready, Billy set off. "Sorry I can't stay and talk, Bertie," he said. "I've got to make up for lost time." Bertie was left behind, a little bit mystified. "I wonder where Thomas's driver really is," he thought, "and what it all has to do with Shingles." Soon, Bertie was hurrying down the road, trying to make up for lost time himself. As Bertie came up the hill, he saw Isabella just ahead of him. She was carrying supplies, including what Bertie thought was a load of shingles. Said Bertie. "Roof shingles. Maybe Isabella knows what happened to Thomas's driver." He picked up speed. "Isabella," he cried, "wait!" Up ahead, Isabella had stopped to allow Gordon to pass by at the elevated crossing. But the signal tower obstructed Bertie's view until it was too late. Bertie smashed into Isabella's flatbed, knocking it off the road. Isabella was shoved forward and knocked Gordon partially off the track, and Bertie was left with his left front wheel hanging off the road. The passengers dared not get out, as Bertie's door hung right over the edge of the road. "Bertie," exclaimed Gordon, "what is the meaning of this?" "Oh, dear," said Bertie. I'm so sorry, Isabella and Gordon. See, the thing is, Billy told me that Thomas's driver couldn't come to work because of shingles or something like that, and I was worried about him. I saw Isabella's trailer full of roof shingles and thought maybe, she had something to do with it." "Could you possibly be more boneheaded?" exclaimed Isabella. "This has nothing to do with roof shingles. Shingles is also a disease that affects the skin. Thomas's driver couldn't come to work because he's ill." "Oh dear," said Bertie. He felt very silly indeed. By the following day, everyone who had been involved in the accident had been repaired. Bertie rolled into Ellsbridge Station to see his old friend Thomas. Bertie told Thomas everything that had happened. "Oh dear, I don't feel like a really useful bus right now," he moaned. But Thomas smiled. "Don't worry about it, Bertie," he said. "Everyone makes mistakes. It's a part of life. If I hadn't ignored the Fat Controller's warnings about the track and gone out on the branch line even though it was dangerous, I wouldn't have had my accident." That made Bertie feel better. "Will your driver be back soon?" he asked. "No, I don't think so," said Thomas. "Fireman says it takes a while to go away, and it's a pretty contagious disease. But don't you worry, I'll be back in service before you know it." Bertie looked up at Thomas in admiration. My, he said. "You're pretty resilient, Thomas. First your accident, then your driver's sick. All these bad things are happening to you, and yet you're so cheerful. How do you do it?" "Well, you just said it yourself," said Thomas. "You just gotta be resilient. Let all the bad things slide off of you. Rather like, I don't know, rainwater off a roof." Bertie chuckled. "Or like roof shingles, I suppose." Thomas smiled and laughed as well, and the two of them talked the evening away like old friends. Which, of course, they were. "Hey, Fred," Scruffy, "this is a